the second time this year, the Phillies are going for a series sweep down here at Turner Field. It's a hot afternoon. Yep, everybody's getting ready. The Phillies are hoping they don't hear or see that tomahawk chop here this afternoon, as their fans have found the best seats in the house to see if the Phils can complete this three-game sweep. All right, how about this series so far for the Phils and the last four? Combined, the Phils are 10-4 record-wise. The bullpen earned run average outstanding at 0.98. And yes, the Phillies not only hitting in the clutch, but also getting extra base hits, including 14 home runs. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. As we get set for the final game of this three-game set against the Atlanta Braves, the Phils have kind of turned it on against these teams that are vying for playoff spots. And one of the big reasons why that they've been able to turn it on is because of their bullpen.
Well, and these guys come out, and all they're doing is throwing strikes. They're going out and pounding the strike zone. They have a very good scouting report. Last night game, of course, we talked about Giles, the no-hitter. He comes in last night and does what he does. He just throws fastball after fastball, gets a very nice slider, and keeping these guys off balance, thinking they're going to get a fastball. Antonio Bastardo comes in last night. Hasn't pitched a whole lot lately, but here all of a sudden Freddie Freeman, oh, by the way, 0 for 17. He just has very good control with the slider. He can elevate his fastball when he's for the strikeout. He came in and struck the side out.
Struck the side out and was aggressive in doing so as the Phils finished off game number 2. Now this series, 5 innings, and the key, 10 strikeouts for the Phils bullpen.
Well, I mean, they've thrown 64 pitches, 45 for strikes. That means they're very aggressive in the strike zone. They're elevating the fastball a little bit. But the key to their success is they're getting ahead with their first pitch, fastball. Now, all of a sudden, as a hitter, you have to protect. Am I going to see a slider, fastball, changeup, whatever it's going to be? That's why you're getting the awkward swings, the late swings, and the high elevated fastball.
All right, so the Phils bullpen has been a big reason why they've been successful during this series and over the last handful of series. Ben Revere has been a big reason why the offense has been successful.
Well, we've been talking about his hitting and his defense, but it's basically with his legs right now. He's picking the perfect time for stealing bases. When you're not paying attention to him, he'll steal third base. He puts the pressure on the catcher to hurry up throws. That's why you're seeing a lot of errors. But what it does is it sets the offense behind you for an easy situation, getting guys over, getting them in. He's getting tremendous jumps, 42 stolen bases. Oh, and by the way, he's only been thrown out 5 times this year.
Well, this is a career high in stolen bases for Ben Revere, the 42 that he's put up. Take a look at the numbers during his big league career. 40 stolen bases in 2012 with the Minnesota Twins. Last year, injuries plagued him, obviously, and that's why he had only 22, but 42 already this season. He's back in the lineup for the Phils. We get set for Game 3 of this series. The pitchers this afternoon, David Buchanan makes a return to the team that he grew up rooting for. He is a local kid getting a chance to make his 16th start of the year. And for Irvin Santana, he's pitched really well since the 1st of July. This will be his 27th start of the year. Well, Matt was out showing Ben Revere how to stretch his legs out before the start of today's ball game. He's ready to go. We'll go to the Comcast Sportsnet studios after the break. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Three-game series, a hot afternoon for baseball. Irvin Santana's already out on the mound. The Phillies hitters are ready to go as they look for the sweep. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Revere, Grady Sizemore, and Chase Utley. Those are the top three. Then Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Cody Ashe. Jimmy Rollins and Marlon Byrd both have today off. And the bottom third of Galvis, Nieves, and Buchanan, also Carlos Ruiz, having the day off, which was expected. And they'll face 31-year-old right-hander Irvin Santana. Solid year, 13 wins, 155 strikeouts, and 168 in the third, Matt. And he was good at the beginning, hit a little bit of a speed bump, but since the 1st of July has been an excellent pitcher for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, and the reason why is because he's getting his slider over for strikes whenever he needs, and that is his bread and butter pitch right now. He can throw it for strikes, and it's a strikeout pitch as well. As you can see, the scouting report with Irvin Santana, 90 to 94 mile an hour fastball, slider, change, and curve. And he has a 9-2 record with a 3.34 ERA in the third highest altitude park at Turner Field.
Well, we'll see if the Phillies can figure him out. He's pitched against the Phillies this year. He's 2-1 with an ERA of 3.28 and 4 starts against the Phillies. Time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's ball game. All right, Matt, bring it home.
Well, key number one is going to be keep riding the wave versus the playoff teams. They are 9-2 versus the St. Louis, Seattle, Washington, and the Braves so far. And be aggressive with Santana. His fastball is the one you want to hit. He's given a 331 average, but you need to stay away from the slider. Opponents are hitting 164.
All right, it'll be Ben Revere, Grady Sizemore, and Chase Utley. Now, lefties have had issues against him, like righties recently, but Ryan Sandberg has decided to stack the lineup with lefties. Only Will Nieves and David Buchanan are right-handed batters. So we're underway, and the first pitch is a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Revere, hitting .311 with a home run and 20 runs batted in. He is second in the National League in hitting to Josh Harrison. And quickly it's 0-2. Take a look at the Mazda leaders. Harrison had a couple hits in yesterday's ball game for the Pirates, so he's at 313. And Revere just ahead of Justin Morneau's at 310. Inside, 1-2.
And I apologize because I can't give the Stairsy update during the game because they don't start for till 1:45 Central.
See, I should have let you give that update. Now 1:45 Eastern time.
Eastern time.
You'll have a chance. That one's out toward right center field. Hayward took an odd route to it, and it drops between him and B.J. Upton. And Ben Revere pulls into second with a leadoff double. His 11th double of the season. It's also his 5th hit of the series.
Well, Ben's seeing the ball extremely well, and he's become a very good hitter with 2 strikes on him. He sits there and he drives this ball. It's a slider down, and like you said, Hayward kind of takes that route where he thinks he's going to come in and get it. And next thing you know, he realizes it's over his head for a stand-up double.
Well, it's time now for a little cartoon for Ben Revere. He's in scoring position. Grady Sizemore will stand in. Sizemore's 29th game or 28th game with the Phillies. He's hit in 22 of those 27 games so far. Overall hitting .303 with the Phils, couple home runs, 10 RBIs. You count his numbers with the Red Sox, he's batting .251. On the outside corner, 1-1. Bob Davidson is calling the balls and strikes today, the veteran umpire. Chris Conroy's at first, Jordan Baker's at second, and Jerry Meals, the point guard of this 4-man crew, is over at third. 2-1.
So what's the chances today that Bob Davidson calls a balk?
Kind of wonder about that every time you see him. I think he's more apt to do it when he's at second or first. Yeah. In the air to right field. Hayward turns his back, heads toward the wall. He's out toward the wall, and he leaps and he makes the catch. And Revere tags and goes to third. Boy, the Phillies have had a couple balls in this series. Marlon Byrd had 2 in particular, and that one right there by Sizemore. That in a lot of other ballparks, the Phillies would have the lead.
It's almost like a change-up right down the middle of the plate. It really hits it to the deepest part of right field as you can go, about 390. Makes a nice play and gets the ball in. But unfortunately, it wasn't a base hit, but he did a good job of getting Ben to third base.
Yeah, so he's in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and it brings Chase Utley to the plate. Utley is 0 for his last 8. He did not play in yesterday's game. He walked a couple times in the first game of this series. I think the Braves are struggling to score runs. They have the infield in here in the first inning. They have not scored a run in the last 24 innings and only 1 run in the last 36 innings. No balls and 1 strike. Inside, 1-1. Out towards center field. Not that deep, but deep enough you would think for Revere. He tags. Upton has it. His throw to the plate is up the line, and the Phillies take the lead. A sac fly for Chase Utley. And it's 1-0 Phillies here in the first. That's a nice way to get on the board.
Just good execution all around, getting the leadoff double. Grady Sizemore did a nice job getting him over. And a changeup down the zone, staying in the big part of the field, elevating the ball in the air and getting a sac fly.
So 1-0 Phillies. Ryan Howard will be the hitter. Revere scores his 62nd run of the season. Howard is 4 for 12 lifetime against Santana. On this road trip, he has 7 RBIs. But he's just 4 for 19, but with 7 runs batted in.
Oh, that hit his foot.
I thought it hit his foot too. He didn't react though. Change up, and it's 1-2. Howard with 20 home runs, 87 runs batted in. And that one's into the shift. LaStella in shallow right field makes the play. Phillies do get a run, though, on the sac fly by Chase Utley. It all began with Ben Revere's leadoff double. And then he came around to score after a fly ball to the wall by Sizemore. A sac fly, and Revere crosses the plate. Sac fly by Chase Utley, so a nice lead for David Buchanan to start things off. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Jason Hayward, Andrew Elton Simmons, Freddie Freeman, 1, 2, and 3. Ryan Doman plays in left field. Justin Upton must still have that contusion from last night's hit by pitch. Tommy LaStella bats 5th. Chris Johnson 6th. Bethancourt, Upton, and Irvin Santana will face right-hander David Buchanan, who was out of Peachtree City, Georgia. Grew up a Braves fan, getting a chance to pitch in the ballpark that he grew up coming to games. And it must be a pretty big thrill, although he's 6-7. This is his 16th major league start. It is probably a thrill, but he's gotten through all those butterflies that he's had in past starts. He is a big league pitcher right now.
Yeah, he is. And he said he was looking forward to this day. And you can see the scouting report. 90-92 mile-an-hour fastball, cutter, change, curve, and 3 earned runs or less in his last 11 starts.
First pitch to Jason Hayward is off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Buchanan attended Fayette County High School, where he was the MVP his senior year. And then went on to junior college for a couple years in Florida before he pitched for Georgia State. The Georgia State campus is only a few blocks away from Turner Field. Hayward hitting .274, 11 home runs, and 54 runs batted in. He's 2 for 6 in this series, and he grounds that one foul past Terry Pendleton. Just a bit outside, 3-2. Nieves tried to frame that one for Buchanan. Until today, the closest Buchanan ever pitched to his hometown professionally was when he was in Charleston, South Carolina. His family was here yesterday watching the Phillies. Here again today with some friends. And a changeup and a called strike 3. And there is the Buchanan clan. 1 out. And that'll bring Simmons to the plate.
What was the comment that his father made on about hitting? We reckon to find out?
No, we're fixing to find out. Yeah. Simmons hitting .246 with 7 home runs, 43 runs batted in. First pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Simmons has batted second for 2 of these ball games. In fact, Simmons and Hayward are the only guys that have hits for the Braves in this series. They only have 3. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, and you mentioned it in the top of the first. That's the reason why they had the infield in with Ben at third, is because he does not trust his offense right now.
It's remarkable. And Freddie Gonzalez said that after yesterday's ball game. He said, I understand we're not good right now. We have a lot of talented players that just. There's 2 outs. Well, more on that. Here's Murph with the Geico quote of the day. Murph, take it away.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what that quote is, Tom, because you're right. They are in the middle of an offensive nightmare right now, are the Atlanta Braves. And really, it's been a problem they've had all season long. They're second worst in the National League in scoring runs. But this drought has been unbelievable. And as you mentioned, Freddie Gonzalez talked about it yesterday. It is our Geico quote of the day. We're a talented club offensively, a very talented club. We can put up numbers offensively. So to get shut out in back-to-back games and score just 1 run in 4 days, it's mind-boggling. And you take a look at the numbers. You mentioned in the last 24 innings, just 1 run in the last 36 innings as Freeman grounds out to Ryan Howard there. Their average 181, 40 strikeouts, 1 for 23 runners in scoring position. It is a drought of epic proportions right now for the Atlanta offense, guys.
Yeah, those numbers continue to dip now after a scoreless first from David Buchanan. We'll go to the second with the Phils on top, 1-0. Dominic Brown, Cody Ashley, Freddie Galvis as we begin the second inning. The Phillies up 1-0. Brown on the year hitting .234 with 8 home runs, 58 runs batted in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown is 0 for 3 in this series with a run scored and a walk. 5 for 13 on this road trip, make it 5 for 14. Hits that one off the end of the bat toward right field. And 1 out for Cody Ashley. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Bob Nur of Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Bob will win $100. Here's Cody Ashley. Ashley's just 3 for 33 against the Braves this year. Now, lost in last night's Major League debut from Michael Franco is that Ryan Sandberg and Ruben Amaro both emphasized that Cody Ashley is the Phillies' third baseman. He gets a bad hot base hit right there as Hayward gets to it quickly and holds him to a 1-out single. And Freddie Freeman's really lucky that he got out of the way of that ball because it was hit hard and it took a nasty hop. So second hit of the day for the Phils.
Well, maybe on this, I mean, he makes very good contact right there, bounces over the head. And maybe that's the knock that locks in Cody Ashley versus the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, because his numbers this year are just a small fraction of what they are for his career. He's now 9 for 75 in his career against the Braves, just 2 years. But Ruben and Rhino both said, listen, Franco's going to get his at-bats at third base and at first base, but you know, we're pretty happy with the way Cody Ashley's played, and he's going to continue to play at third base. Dolman makes the catch, so there are 2 outs. Back to first goes Ashley. And that certainly makes sense.
You know, we talk about Cody's numbers versus the Atlanta Braves or people who face guys who don't have great numbers. I'm not always sold on that. I think a lot of it has to do with there might have been 20 line drive outs. There could have been 5 highlight reels, great plays in the outfield. Now, if the guy has a lot of strikeouts, okay, yeah, but sometimes the numbers lie.
0-1. Will Nieves, 277 hitter with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Quick toss over to first. A high fly ball, shallow left center field. Ryan Doman makes the one-handed catch, so he retired the last 2 hitters. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left, middle of the second here at Turner Field. Off beginning Monday, September 8th. It's a 4-game series, all 4 at 7:05. You can get tickets anytime by going to Phillies.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cholesterol Awareness Night presented by AstraZeneca on Wednesday night. Get a chance to come out and see the Bull, Greg Wazinski. And all adults 18 and older can have their cholesterol tested beginning at 5:05 at Citizens Bank Park. Now David Buchanan will face Ryan Domit, Tommy LaStella, and Chris Johnson. Well, if you're wondering if our sign guy has a picture for everybody, he does. That's for David Buchanan. Some of these are going to take a little while for us to put it all together if we don't know who it's referencing. President Buchanan, Matt. He wasn't your president. Ryan Domit takes inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Domit 2 for his last 17.
He was president number 15, though.
That's an excellent history lesson on your part.
Can I get the bell?
Yeah, we can get you the bell if we can find it. There you go.
Thank you.
Domit's playing left field today for, we're assuming, the injured Justin Upton. Now, this may have been a scheduled day off, but Upton left yesterday's game with a contusion after being hit by a pitch from Kyle Kendrick. He apparently was not happy after the ball game because Kendrick had hit him earlier this season, which he did. So Freddie Gonzalez decides to give him an extra day. That ball is ripped to the right side off the glove of Utley and into right field. So Domit's aboard. We'll see how they score that one. They have scored at a base hit. I think you have a better perspective on some of these issues in the game, Matt, whether a pitcher is going after a hitter and hitting them on purpose or not. First and third, first inning against Justin Upton for a guy that's really struggled in the first inning. I didn't think he hit him on purpose last night.
He did, and he's trying to throw a fastball inside to get jammed, to get a roll over to third base or shortstop.
LaStella bunts. Buchanan off the mound quickly. Sacrifice moves Domit up to scoring position. 1-3 on the putout.
But that's the problem with the game nowadays, is that hitters think they deserve to own the inside plate, the middle of the plate, the outside plate, and pitchers should just require to throw the ball right down Broadway. That's just a two-seamer that got up and hit him in the elbow. He wasn't happy. So what? Go to first base. It's part of baseball.
Yeah, that loaded the bases. Kyle Kendrick's allowed 33 first-inning runs this year. He did not want to load the bases. Here's Chris Johnson. Johnson, 268, 9 homers, 55 runs batted in. Takes a curveball for a strike. He's 0 for 7 in the series. A lot of 0-fers for the Braves.
Now, if you have a pitcher on the mound that's hit you probably 6 or 7 times, then you're going to have an issue with it. But twice, no.
Well, and again, I think you have to look at the numbers in the first inning. Kyle was really trying to get through that first. He did not want to have any additional issues. And he was able to do that. Pitched well last night, 7 innings. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Johnson.
Nice changeup right there at 81 miles an hour. Way out in front of it.
Well, that's been a key for Buchanan, his command of all the pitches that he has in his arsenal. Curveball looped back towards second, caught by Utley. And there are 2 outs. Thursday night at 6:30, Comcast Sportsnet gets you ready for the Eagles season. Derek Gunn talks with Jeremy Macklin on coming back from his torn ACL. Plus, Ray Dittinger shares his expectations for the Birds in year 2 under Chip Kelly. Watch Birds of Summer right here on Comcast Sportsnet. 2 outs. Christian Bethancourt will be the hitter. One of the Braves' top prospects. We saw him earlier this season. And he takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Buchanan is, as usual, firing strikes. He's about to throw his 24th pitch of the day. See Bethancourt's numbers. Strike 2. Bethancourt hit .283 with 8 home runs down in the minor leagues this year. Was better after the All-Star break and after a cup of coffee up here in the big leagues. One ball and 2 strikes.
Coffee's not a bad idea, Tom. I think I'll grab one after this strikeout right here.
Matt, we're going to hit 90 degrees today. Go easy on the coffee, big boy.
Hydrate. A lot of water, coffee.
Dietitians are cringing all over the Delaware Valley. Pie, 2-2. It was weather day today, or is weather day today here at Turner Field. There are a lot of kids that are in the stands trying to find some shade. One of the local television affiliates going over different weather events today. Pitcher's left up a little bit and he fouled it back. It remains 2-2. They launched a weather balloon during the weather day assembly out over the Braves dugout. Ground ball toward the hole. Galvis knocks it down. Trickles in the shallow left. Coming home is Domet. The throw to the plate, not in time. And the Braves have scored a run to tie this ball game up. It's their first run in 25 innings, which of course precedes this series. We'll give an RBI to Bethancourt. Galvis did everything he could to try to get that ball in the hole. He goes to second on the throw.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had a chance, but he's trying to knock it down and trying to not allow the run to score, and aggressive base running and come around from second base and scoring.
All right, so now Buchanan trying to get out of the second inning with B.J. Upton at the plate. He throws a strike to Upton. Upton hitting .206 with 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. He didn't play in last night's ball game. First run in 25 innings, only the second run in 37 innings for the Braves. Murph talked about their offensive struggles.
That's a late sinker right there that we talk about, Dave Buchanan. You think you're going to end up hitting the ball or crushing it to left field. Next thing you know, you're swinging over top of it. And really, it's underneath your label of the bat. That late life.
Out toward left center field. That's well hit. Revere going back, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for B.J. Upton. That's his 10th of the year. It's now 3-1, Braves on top here in the bottom of the second. Unfortunately, that was a pitch that didn't have that late life that Matt just talked about. It was left up in the zone.
Yeah, they tried to go back underneath his hands, and the ball stayed middle of the plate. And even though you're struggling, and even though it's no balls, 2 strikes, fastball down Broadway's very easily to hit.
So 3-1 Atlanta. It's their first lead of this series. Irvin Santana fouls it away. No balls and 1 strike to him. If you're the Braves and their fans, you're thinking the floodgates have opened here. 3 runs.
Well, and the frustrating thing about that with the home run, 1 is no balls, 2 strikes, but also you have the pitcher on deck.
That's a good point. With first base open, even though it is early.
Correct.
But you're right. You could stand to be a little extra careful with the number 8 hitter. Maybe try to get him to go fishing for something out of the zone. Well, Domit reached on the single just over the glove of Utley. 3 batters later, Bethancourt reached on a single just off the glove of Galvis before the home run by Upton. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Santana. And he fouls it to the right. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And that this is going to be at least a 10-pitch at bat. Ball 4. So he walks Santana. And now Jason Hayward's coming up. Bob McClure is going to trot out to the mound. He hasn't had to do that too often in this series. .28 pitches now in this second inning for David Buchanan. David Buchanan, 6 wins, 7 losses so far in his rookie season. There have been times where, I mean, he has been outstanding for the Phils. You figure that he'll hit a little speed bump here or there. Murph, you take a look at some of the numbers against some of the other rookies, he's matched up pretty well against them.
You know, he really has. You know, and we have to remember, this is a guy that wasn't even on the radar for the Phils when he came into spring training. But there you see, if you put him up against some of the other rookie pitchers in the National League, he fits in pretty well. Jacob deGrom, of course, with the Mets having a real good season. The ERA at 2.94 in his 18 starts. Chase Anderson's been good out there in Arizona as well in 18 starts. And but you look at David Buchanan, his numbers 6 and 7 in his 15 starts, 4.03 ERA. He's had some very, very good games. He's had some games where he's gotten himself into trouble. But for a rookie campaign, you have to kind of tip your cap to David Buchanan and the job he's been able to do.
Yeah, he's been riding this this run of 3 earned runs or less over his last 11 starts or so. And that says a lot about keeping his team in the game. Inside, it's 2-1 to Hayward. 3 earned runs or less in 11 consecutive starts. Now he's got 3 earned runs here that he's allowed in the second inning. Andrelton Simmons in the on-deck circle. And there's ball 4. So back-to-back walks now by Buchanan. That puts runners on first and second. And Simmons will stroll to the plate. Simmons popped out to Howard his first time up. Brave. I'm sorry, Mecca.
That was a good fastball. He got it down the zone, and he kind of got away from throwing his changeup. And the league's only hitting 160 versus his changeup. He's having a hard time with his cutter right now, and his fastball is up in the zone as well.
He's ahead 0-2 to Simmons.
See, even though he's up, no balls, 2 strikes, that was still an elevated fastball. And when Buchanan's going extremely well, he's got the very good sinker, like we saw in the no ball 1 strike pitch to B.J. Upton. So now he's got to get here. He's got to bury something or elevate something very high, but non-strike.
Davis does a good job of blocking that and keeping Santana at second. In the dirt, 2-2. Braves had gotten to the point, Matt, where they were 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position in this series, and then they got the base hit by Bethancourt in this inning, and then the home run by Upton. So now 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position. The count is 2-2 to Simmons, and Simmons sends one to left center field. Revere on the run. He's got a beat on it and makes the catch. 8 men come to the plate of the inning for the Braves. They score 3 runs. The big blow, a 2-run home run by B.J. Upton. We'll go to the third. It's 3-1. Atlanta's on top. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, the question, Matt, is in which 3 cities has the Braves franchise won a World Series? The answer will be revealed in just a little bit. Well, I would think you know one right off the bat, since the Atlanta Braves lead the Phillies 3-1 as we go to the top of the third. It'll be David Buchanan in the top of the order for the Phillies. Phillies trailing it by 2. It'll be Buchanan, Revere, and Sizemore. Well, it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto to have a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. This is also the moment where Matt goes silent because he's thinking about the answer to the trivia question. There was a time where you could look out on the outfield fence here at Turner Field, and that answer would be given to you. They would have a silhouette of each of the cities the Braves have played in. Buchanan lines one down the right field line out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. First strikeout for Santana. And that'll bring Revere to the plate. Bet is now hit in 5 consecutive games. He's 8 for 23 on this road trip, counting his double his last time up. 11 doubles, 7 triples, 1 home run. He's come to life in this series. He's 5 for 9 against the Braves in the series. Ground ball right side into right field, a base hit. Another multi-hit game for Ben Revere. So he's on first for Grady Sizemore.
I was just about to make a comment about how quick Ervin Santana was working, as we see Ben swing the bat well, finding the holes, left, right center. But you can tell he must think this is just an early Christmas present, getting 3 runs, because his tempo has picked up. He's on the mound. He's throwing strike 1, getting back up there. And that's the difference right now, is that he's throwing strike 1 and David Buchanan's not getting ahead in the count.
Sizemore flied out to the wall in right field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Yeah, we've seen Santana. This is now the 5th time. This is probably the quickest tempo he's had. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would. And I really noticed it with David Buchanan hitting. I mean, it was strike 1 back on the mound looking for the sign to go. And I don't know if it's because it's going to be in the mid-90s or it's a 12 o'clock game, but he's got something working.
Low, 1-1.
A lot of coffee.
Well, we mentioned that he had a pretty good start to the season for the Braves. They signed him late. And then he hit a little bit of a speed bump, but over his last 12 starts, he's 8-2 with a 2.84 earned run average. As he throws over to first. Said that he got a couple of extra days off around the All-Star break, and that seemed to add some strength and some durability to his arm, and a lot of movement too. You see the first half splits with the second half. ERA over 4 in the first half. Outside, 2-1. Made his debut on the 9th of April for the Braves and threw 8 shutout innings. He went 3-0 in April with a 1.95 earned run average. May and June wasn't as good for him, but July and August were very good. That one's in the air to right field. Does he have enough on this one? Hayward going back toward the wall. It is gone, and we're all tied up. Grady Sizemore, a 2-run home run, his 3rd with the Phils. It's a 3-3 game. I don't know if he would necessarily give him an E as a grade, but the sign guy letting everybody know his appreciation for Grady Sizemore.
Grady gets a slider middle of the plate. He must have went into a couple curls in between innings, because last time he hit 390. This time he wasn't going to come up short that time.
I don't know if that was Tom Sizemore, the actor, who was the other pitcher. I didn't look at it clearly. It was sort of on an angle. Well, here's Chase Utley. It's a 3-3 ball game. And Utley grounds it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was remarkable, though. His first at bat, he hits one to the wall. So you had a sense that he was seeing him pretty well. I mean, he was hitting over 300 against him for his career. But how about that? The second at bat, he shifted about 15 feet to the right, and he gets a home run. Utley grounds another one foul.
Johnny Gomes back in mid-90s when I was with the mid-2000s, I was with the Kansas City Royals. First at bat hits the ball about 399 feet straight away center. I was DH in that game. I walk in the locker room. I hear the music blaring in the weight room. I walk in. And he's doing curls. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? The game's starting. I mean, you're playing. He goes, all I need is 5 more feet. His next 3 at bat, 3 home runs.
That's great. Probably more psychological than anything else.
So I went into a couple of curls with him and struck out the next 3 at bats.
Well, 2 outs on that strikeout of Utley, and that brings Ryan Howard up. Howard is 0 for 1. Howard grounded out into the shift. Tommy La Stella in shallow right field his first time up. Ryan has 4 career hits against Irvin Santana. Takes on the outside corner, 0-1. I think we saw that slider, that real good slider there, but in the Utley at bat too.
Yes. Well, the one with Utley, he started inside. And that's the one where you think he's going to stay in there as a strike and you got to react.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. 94 on that fastball from Irvin Santana.
And the one with Grady was a backdoor that came back in the middle of the plate, and that's what happens with hanging cutters.
Well, he just powered 2 fastballs past Ryan Howard, so he gets back-to-back strikeouts following the home run. But the key is the home run by Grady Sizemore. 2-run shot, and he's just tied this ball game up at 3. Go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Turner Field. It's the Phillies 3 and the Braves 3. McDonald's, any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com. We're your local dealer today. Well, middle of the 3rd, we're ready to go. It's a 3-3 game, so David Buchanan has watched his offense tie this ball game up. It'll be Freddie Freeman, Ryan Doumit, Tommy La Stella. Back-to-back change-ups, and it's 2-0. And a cutter, 2-1. Now, if you're Will Nieves, Matt, are you trying to still go with all the pitches to see if he can find them at this point?
I'd like to see him try to lock in on one pitch right now.
Okay.
You know, with his changeup and his curveball, his cutter, his fastball, he's kind of fighting all 4. I'd rather see him get locked in with one and ride that for a while until the other ones feel comfortable.
Chopper to the right side. Utley comes in, takes the big hop. And there's one out. On Friday, September 12th, the Phillies and the Miami Marlins will get together for one final time at Citizens Bank Park. They'll face each other down in Miami as well. But 3 games against the Phils in Philadelphia. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. You can check out Phillies.com and check out the Cabrini College knit hat. That's the giveaway in Game 1. It's free to fans 15 and older. And then the New Jersey Education Association Fanatic Oyo for fans 14 and under. That's the final game of the series. 0-1 to Domit. Domit singled his first time up. Joe Simpson, who does the analysis for Braves television. Phillies fans probably know him from the postseason on TBS and TNT. He said, what kind of pace does David Buchanan have? I said, he gets it, and before the hitter's even back in the box, he's ready to go. There's Joe. Breaking ball, foul tip, and it's hung on to by Nieves. And it's the second strikeout for Buchanan. Domit saying that it hit the ground. Bob Davidson saying, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Good try, though.
In fact, both pitchers have that pace today. But David, this is the way David works. And his pace has gotten quicker as the years gone on.
It'd be interesting to ask Jamie if the pace can be too quick.
I think I mean, you're right. It would be interesting to ask Jamie about that. See, he's ready to go. I thought he was too quick in the second inning when they started getting the hits against him.
Right. I mean, as he's receiving the ball throwback from Nieves, his foot is on the rubber and he's ready to go.
3 balls and 1 strike.
There you go. Now he's gone.
Change up, cued, foul.
I mean, he doesn't even give you a chance to look in the stands.
No, if you have anything on your mind, you better clear it out quickly.
So let's face it, playing in the outfield in some ballparks, it's entertaining playing in the outfield. You want to see what's going on. You don't dare with him.
I think with Stella, they have broken the bat on that one off the end. The bat boy just brought out 6 bats for him to choose from. Well, I think it's been to his benefit. I don't think he was this quick before he went down to the minor leagues. Would you agree with that, Matt? Do you think he's quicker now than he was early on?
His pace is staying pretty the same. I mean,
yeah.
I think he was pitching extremely well just before he got sent down.
He just walked his 3rd batter. And here's Chris Johnson, who looped one out to Utley at second base his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Fly ball, shallow right. Sizemore toward the line and into foul territory. Buchanan gets through the 3rd. No runs, no hits. 1 man left over at first. We've completed 3. We're all even at 3. We'll go to the 4th. Philadelphians, Avery weatherproof labels from WB Mason are built to withstand the extreme elements. Trust Avery labels with your most essential shipments. Who but WB Mason? We'll go to the fourth inning. It's a 3-3 game. We've just been told that the 3 runs charged to David Buchanan today are now unearned. You see the line score there: 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Phillies. Ryan Domit's ball, which was originally scored a base hit, he smoked it, has now been changed to an error to Chase Utley. So Utley charged with the error. Dominic Brown leads it off, and Dominic rips it foul. I mean, I guess that was a tweener because it was on the glove side, but watch how hard this ball's hit. Maybe let him play him a little bit. Out towards shallow center, Simmons. And there's one out. Well, I know as a hitter you want that as a hit, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were making a statement. I was just thinking with the play. I mean, it was a 2-hopper. It was hit hard to his left, but yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, as a hitter you want it, you know. But then again, you could have a player like Chase could go in and say, you know what, that's an error. I should have made the play.
He could have, yeah. Ashe takes inside and low, 1-0. Let's see, 1, 2.
They probably scored an error because it went off his glove.
Yeah, and it was on the glove side. 2-0 to Ashe. So 3 unearned runs charged to David Buchanan's line. That one's out towards center field. Upton out toward the track. And there are 2 outs. And here comes Freddie Galvis. By the way, the Braves have informed us today there was a photo that circulated yesterday of home plate here at Turner Field, and the Major League Baseball authenticator was authenticating home plate, and the story that went along with the photo said that the Braves were going to present home plate to the Phillies as part of the no-hitter, commemorating the no-hitter. Now, apparently it's the pitcher's plate, not home plate, that will be presented to the Phillies. The plate on the mound will be dug out at the end of the season and will be sent to Philadelphia.
Did they call Jamie Moyer to come down and get it and dig it out?
Jamie could do it. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freddie Galvis with 2 outs here in the 4th. On the inside corner. Murph, what else is going on as far as the no-hitter goes?
Well, in addition to the pitching rubber, as you mentioned, Tom, that's going to be sent to the Phillies, Cooperstown has called, and they would like to get in on the action. So the Phils are going to send Cole Hamels' game cap that he wore during that game to Cooperstown, along with a couple of game balls that were used, and also a lineup card signed by Ryan Sandberg. So all of those will be on display in Cooperstown for the 11th combined no-hitter in Major League Baseball history.
All right, that's pretty cool. And just so everybody knows, if you ever want the home plate here at Turner Field, it has officially been authenticated. to you by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. A warm, sunshiny afternoon here in Atlanta, Georgia. We hope you're enjoying your Wednesday afternoon back home in the Delaware Valley. Phillies will be home next Monday to begin a 4-game series against the Pirates. But if you're not doing anything, come on down to D.C. this weekend. The Phils and the Nationals will be battling for 3 games. Night game on Friday, day game on Saturday, late afternoon game on Saturday, and day game on Sunday. Bethancourt hits one right back through the middle, a base hit against Buchanan, so he's 2 for 2. They are very high on Christian Bethancourt. It was still kind of surprising, though, to see Evan Gattis in the lineup just one time in this 3-game series.
Especially with the struggles the Braves have had trying to score runs, and you're sitting out a man who's got, and I do mean a man, who's got 21 home runs.
Yeah, most among catchers. In the dirt. And it's 1-0. Now Gattis has been battling back issues, but I thought there was a chance if Upton wasn't going to play that they'd put him out in left. Now he's not a spectacular defensive left fielder, but nor is Ryan Doman, even though Doman's played a lot of games out there in the last few years. 2-0 to B.J. Upton.
I guess a lot has to do with being a night game, 12
Sure.
o'clock start.
Freddie Gonzalez looking for the right matchups to get his offense going. 2-run home run his last time up. There's ball 4. Close pitch, a cutter. Didn't cut all the way back, according to Bob Davidson, and that puts runners on first and second for Santana to come up and attempt to sacrifice. Well, we'll see the Atlanta Braves one more time. It'll be in Philadelphia on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 26th, the 27th, and 28th. It's the final weekend of games at Citizens Bank Park. The Goya Latino Family Celebration on Saturday, and then Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday. 1:35 first pitch. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. And Santana bunts it foul. It's 0-1. Well, at least somebody's listening to Jamie Moyer. Don't throw him a cookie to bunt it. Inside, 1-1. Bob Davidson says he held it, so it's 2-1. And he bunts it toward third. It's past Buchanan, but Ashe's there. Sacrifice is successful. 5-4 on the putout. And that puts runners on second and third for Jason Hayward. I wonder if the Phillies are going to think about getting bullpen action soon. Bob McClure, there he is. He's on the phone. 77 pitches for David Buchanan. His got a long list of pitchers that are available, including Luis Garcia, Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, guys that were just brought up from the minor leagues. Mike Adams is available also out of the bullpen.
I would assume Giles will be shut down for the day. Back-to-back days of throwing.
There's Cesar Jimenez. He hasn't worked in a while, so he's going to start to throw in a moment. Infield is back. Hayward is up. 0 for 1. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
Be his 80th pitch already.
Yeah, he's had to work hard to get through 3 innings, and now to get to 1 out here in the 4th. One ball, 2 strikes to Hayward. Slip a curveball by him.
Look at that front door sinker. Freeze him.
That's what he tried to do. Put that gear on, Matt. Call some pitches.
Now you throw the exact same location, but throw a cutter. It's going to be about $170 worth of broken wood and a weak ground ball to first.
It still may produce a run, but they'll get an out.
I don't want that.
One ball and 2
weak
strikes.
pop up to first base.
That'd be even better. Dribbler right side. This will get a run home. Utley will have it. Flips to first in time to get Hayward. So he'll get an RBI. And the Braves retake the lead. It's 4-3 here in the 4th inning. RBI number 55 for Hayward. And now Simmons will come up for the 3rd time already here in the 4th. Outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Simmons has popped out to Howard at first. He's also flied to center, to left center field. Just went after a changeup down and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. There's Jimenez. One and 2. Ground ball left side, backhanded by Galvis, and he throws Simmons out. So Buchanan allows the Braves to retake the lead, but just 1 run. We'll go to the 5th here in Atlanta. The Braves on top of the Phils, 4-3. Trivia quiz answer. All right, Matt, here's the question one more time. In which 3 cities has the Braves franchise won a World Series?
Atlanta.
Atlanta is correct. 1995 they won.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is correct. 1957.
Boston.
Boston is correct in 1914. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Top of the 5th inning, Braves 4, Phillies 3. Matt's got his big cup of coffee. Throwing in a bunch of sweet and low.
You could hear it, couldn't you?
You could hear it. Yes, you could.
I apologize.
We'll go to the top of the 5th. It'll be Nieves, and then Tony Gwynn Jr.'s come out of the on-deck circle. So David Buchanan's day is going to be done after 4 innings. Nieves fouls the first pitch away. It's 0-1. So Buchanan's going to be charged with 4 runs, but only 1 earned because of the error to Chase Utley. There's Tony. Threw a lot of pitches through 4 innings today. Everything seems to be away from Will Nieves, and he keeps fouling it that way. He just glanced into the stands to make sure everybody was okay on that foul ball. And a line drive it to left field, a base hit. Doman will cut it off before it gets to the warning track, and Nieves will hang out at first. So he has a leadoff single here in the 5th. Well, Phillies Fantasy Camp is a great opportunity for you to play with your favorite Philly alums. That's right, from January 21st to the 25th, 2015 in Clearwater, Florida. If you're 30 years old or older, it's your chance of a lifetime to get a chance to swing the bat against Greg Luzinski, John Krug, Mike Lieberthal, Mickey Morandini, Bob Boone, the commish, Larry Anderson, all at the Carpenter Complex. It includes a fantasy game against the Legends at Bright House Field. Call 610-520-3400 for more information. Tony Gwynn out to talk to Pete Buchanan. Johnson in on the grass at third. Not squaring.
And I wouldn't think in this situation Tony's going to be brought into bunt. They could probably just kept Buchanan in if they wanted to sacrifice bunt.
Good point.
You know, you might as well let him hit away. And
probably too early in the game right now, down by just 1.
Yeah.
In the air to right field. Hayward out toward the track. He's going to have room, and he makes the catch. So Gwynn is retired. And to the top of the order for Ben Revere. Pretty good swing from Tony Gwynn Jr. Well, Ben Revere with 50 multi-hit games this year. He's halfway to a 4-hit game. He's tied with Jose Altuve for the most 4-hit games in Major League Baseball this year. Pretty nice company to be tied with Jose Altuve, who, despite the Astros' struggles, is still on pace for 200 hits. And you see Revere and Harrison now tied at 313. Oh. 0-2 to Revere. Altuve with 193 hits for the Astros in the American League with 50 stolen bases. The 50 stolen bases and the hits, it leads the American League. Boy, he did everything he could not to break his wrist and take a swing at that. Mario Hollins is now up in the pen.
That's the one thing about spring training. You have so many extra pitchers down the bullpen. You could almost like a spring training game where you just left, right if you need to. You have about 4 lefties in the bullpen now.
You're counting Jimenez, Bastardo, Hollins, and Deaton. Yeah, September sometimes does roll into spring training to a certain extent, just because of the number of guys trying to stay cool in the sunshine out in the pen. Two balls and 2 strikes. And that'll be out of play, and it remains 2-2.
That bullpen down left field corner, not the ideal place you want to be. Be like an oven in there. Kind of surprised they didn't redo the bullpens and put them out maybe in left field or right center.
Well, Matt, there's a suggestion box up in the back of the press box for the new stadium. Why don't you throw that in there?
I imagine the bullpens in the new stadium will be a lot nicer, much nicer.
2-2 to Revere. Up the stairs, 3-2.
Three and 2, we got action. The Evans is going to be running.
Think Will's off and running here?
Yes, I do. At least I hope he does. Revere doesn't strike out much, swinging the bat well. A little first to third action.
Nieves does go, and it's punched to the left side, a base hit into left field. Nieves will put the brakes on at second. 3-hit game for Ben Revere. Now the Phillies have 2 on with 1 out for Grady Sizemore. Boy, when you're hot, and he's getting into that mode where he's hot again.
Well, he's made such a great adjustment from the series from the Washington and even the New York series. He was hooking a lot of balls. Now he's getting his hands back inside of it and allow him to hit balls like this, or the line drive to right center, instead of that rollover to second base.
His average now up to .315, so he's 2 points ahead of Josh Harrison for the National League lead. And now Sizemore, who hit a 2-run home run his last time up, flat out to the wall his first time up. Phillies down by 1 with 1 out. They've got runners on first and second. 1 ball and no strikes to Sizemore. They throw behind Nieves, and Simmons is able to smother it. It's 2-0.
Back in the third inning, Grady Sizemore gets a slider middle of the plate. Gets out there and gets that top hand through the zone and drives it to right field for a game-tying home run at the time.
Yeah, he now has 5 home runs and 27 RBIs combined, Matt, counting his numbers with the Red Sox. He's obviously not playing every day, but that's in 52 games. the dirt. 3-0.
You know, and I'm a firm believer throughout September, playing time wise with Grady Sizemore, every at bat he receives, he's going to get better. His timing is going to get better. Let's face it, 2 years off, basically went from injuries. Timing's still not 100%. I don't think. I think it can be better. He's a very good hitter.
Take it all the way. It's 3-1. Well, he's probably not, because of the injuries, able to play. I mean, he could 160 games a year. But if you figure if he's healthy enough to play every day for somebody, if it's not the Phillies, I mean, numbers project to over 70 RBIs and double digits in home runs. Three balls and one strike as the runners lead off. Outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the Phillies are threatening here, making some noise here in the 5th inning. Well, later tonight on Comcast Sportsnet, the Philadelphia Union are home to tangle with USA International Michael Bradley and Toronto FC. Coverage begins tonight at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
And Tom, to go a little farther with the Grady's about his hitting ability. I could talk hitting all day. And the thing about him is that his power numbers are going to go up. If he was playing every day, like today, he's hit a home run. Now, I can guarantee tomorrow he comes into the game, he's got that home run swing, that muscle memory. You know, I've seen him when he was locked in. Unbelievable. One of the best center fielders to play in a long, long time. So when you start swinging the bat well, it carries over to your next at bat, and you start feeling the confidence of hitting the balls at the ballpark.
Utley hits it out toward left center field. It's deep enough to tie the ball game up. Doman's under it. He makes the catch. Scoring from third is Nieves, and moving to third and up to second are Revere and Sizemore. So it's a 4-4 game. Utley now with 2 sac flies.
Well, good execution by Chase hitting the ball to left center and getting the RBI in. But great baseman Ben, one of going to third base, and Grady going to second base on the throw as well.
Let's see if Howard can come through here. He's 0 for 2. 1 for 9 in the series. 87 runs batted in. See if he can come through here and get a base hit to maybe score a couple more. Shift is somewhat to his advantage, with the shortstop Simmons over to the left side of the diamond. Santana overmatched him his last time up with a strikeout. One ball, no strikes to Howard. In the air to right field. Hayward has a beat on it out toward the track. Hasbro makes the catch. And the side is retired, but the Phils tie it up. A sac fly by Chase Utley, his second RBI of the day. It's a 4-4 game as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Citizenship brought to you by Citizens Bank. Make an impact in a child's life by becoming a mentor. Coach Little League, become a tutor, or be a community volunteer. A small influence can make a huge difference for a child. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. All even at 4 as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phillies will go to their bullpen as we expected. And Mario Hollins will be the new pitcher, 2-1 with an ERA of 4.27. Mario with 46 1/3 innings so far this year, 34 strikeouts. The 26-year-old from El Cerrito, California. His workload has diminished somewhat over the last several weeks, which is not a bad thing, considering how much he worked early on this season. His last outing was the 29th of August against the Mets. He went 2/3 of an inning. Prior to that, he had worked on the 23rd, so he had 6 days off. So here he is working for the first time in this series, and he'll face Freddie Freeman, Ryan Domit, and Tommy La Stella. Freeman's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Take a glimpse at his numbers against left-handers. First pitch is outside, 1-0. On his fastball, 93 on the first fastball, 94 on the second one.
Jimmy Rollins really likes Holland's arm. He likes the movement, his fastball, his cutter, the approach that hitters have been taking at times with the almost like the I don't see the pitch coming reaction, the late reaction. He hides the ball well.
Yeah, how much of that is it, Matt, that he hides the ball so well?
It's hard because it's a little herky-jerky motion, and you expect to pick the ball up, and he hides it so well.
That one is shot out toward left center field. Will be in for a base hit. Brown tries to cut it off. He does. The throw to second base to get Freeman. He is out at second base. If it stands, it'll be the second outfield assist for Dominic Brown. Freddie Freeman contends he got in there. Freddie Gonzalez is out to talk to Jordan Baker, the second base umpire. Well, Freeman isn't even moving from the second base bag. Gonzalez is waiting for the thumbs up, thumbs down from his dugout.
Brown does a great job of getting over and throwing a one-hop strike to Chase. Ooh, I think
looks like his foot may have gotten in there ahead of the tag.
Yeah.
So they are going to review this one. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, and Jordan Baker. I don't know. I mean, right there you saw the contact with the bag. I don't know if the glove had him on the leg or not. That may be one of those which we've seen a lot this year is inconclusive if they're looking, let's say, that angle. So the play is under review. Jerry Meals and Jordan Baker are both turning toward the big Fanavision here at Turner Field. Freddie Freeman reacted almost immediately. I guess the question is, when Utley swiped the tag, there was a gap between the left leg and the right leg of Freeman. Did he tag him before the left leg got to the bag? Watch. See, there it looks like he missed him as Freeman's foot hit the bag.
That's going to be a tough one right there because you got to determine when the glove
that's it.
Tags the leg.
Yeah, if the arm, if the arm, which was part of it, hit the leg. Well, this isn't going to be the quickest of reviews, you would think. The folks up in New York were probably taking a look at it as Freddie Gonzalez was out talking to Jordan Baker. That's been the protocol, is that they'll look at it even before the umpires come over to put the headphones on, so they'll get a head start. And they will see the angles that we're showing you, plus whatever the Braves have on their telecast. Watch it again. Again, Matt, I think what you said, it's hard to tell where the arm or glove hit Freeman's leg as he was heading toward the bag. All right, here we go. Safe at second. So it'll be a double for Freddie Freeman, his 38th of the year. So Freddie Gonzalez wins the challenge, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Ryan Doman, a switch hitter, will bat right-handed. He's 0 for 2. Reached on an error his first time up and then scored. And then struck out his last time up. Fastball in there, 0-1. There's that funkiness that you talked about. He was swinging as if he didn't see it. Got him. 94 on the fastball. 1 out here in the 5th inning. There's a young kid who just overmatched a veteran with his pitches.
And you can see trying to hit that ball to right field, tries to stay inside of it. With 2 strikes, just worry about putting the ball in play. You have 2 strikes to do that up to advancing the runner to third, but like you said, Tom, I mean, he really just overpowered him right there.
All right, Tommy La Stella, a 262 hitter. No official at-bats today. He was walked and he has a sacrifice. Kid out of North Jersey. And it's 0-1. La Stella's 262 batting average is 5th among rookies in the National League. Fights it off. It's 0-2. Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez warming up in the bullpen.
This is where Mario has to do a better job versus left-handers, especially with the funky delivery, having that good fastball, hiding the fastball. He has to keep left-handers off balance.
Well, there you go. He drags it up the first base line. 2 outs. Runner over at third. Is that what you were talking about? That kind of pitch right there?
Yeah, I mean, he's got that good natural cutter, and he pulls his fastball when he throws it, but he just has to. That has to be his bread and butter, is getting left-handers out on a consistent basis, and he will stay around this league for a long, long time.
Yeah, they'd like him to get both righties and lefties out, but to sort of lay a foundation, you're right, getting those lefties out is important, particularly on a team where you have Bastardo and Diekman, so many left-handers. You can use one of them as a situational guy. So Freeman's at third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, a game that's gone back and forth all day long. Chris Johnson takes way upstairs. It's 1-0. He's hitless in 2 at-bats. If somehow he loses Johnson here. You wonder if they'd go to Gonzalez for Bethancourt. Three balls and no strikes to Johnson. And ball 4. Well, he missed on all 4 of those pitches pretty wide. So it's decision time now. Ryan Sandberg talking with Bob McClure. The most popular way to follow the September pennant races is MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV Game of the Day, and much more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. All right, so Ryan Sandberg and Bob McClure are going to come out with Scott Sheridan. Did you see something, Matt, at all from Mario Hollins that indicated there might be something bothering him?
Something with his fingers. I mean, I was watching him. I wasn't sure if it was the reaction after a couple pitches with his way he was moving his hand, and then actually when the camera was on, when you're talking about the decision time, you could see Ruiz coming up to Sandberg, and he was saying something about his hand.
Yeah, there's Carlos. A.J. Burnett was over too for a moment. This is this is one of the pitches to Johnson, and his hand goes down to his side. He starts squeezing a little bit. You see, he's trying to stretch it out, makes a fist, stretches it out, makes the fist. All right, so let's hope that Mario's okay. As Bob McClure is on the phone now. Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez was warming up, but they can choose anybody they want because they have as much time as they need. But it is going to be Gonzalez who's going to come in and make his major league debut. So another major league debut for the Phils. We'll tell you about Miguel when we return to Turner Field. The Braves tied at 4. Freddie Freeman's at third base. Chris Johnson's at first, and Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez is about to make his major league debut. The 27-year-old from Havana, Cuba. The Phillies signed him to a 3-year contract last August. with a vesting option for 2017. He didn't pitch for a couple of years. It took him some time to knock the rust off. You see his numbers on the bottom combined between 3 levels. His velocity improved with each level, AA, AAA. His earned run average on those 3 at 3.11. So he's in to make his major league debut against Christian Bethancourt. And the first pitch, he spins a breaking ball outside. It's 1-0. Phillies had anticipated when they signed Gonzalez that he would be a starting pitcher, but he ran into some arm issues during spring training, which we saw. And instead, they brought him back as a reliever. And that one is lined into right field at base hit. So the Braves will retake the lead. It's an RBI single for Bethancourt, who's now 3 for 3. Over to third is Johnson. So Bethancourt has 2 RBIs today. Freeman crosses the plate. 5-4, Atlanta's on top.
Wasn't that bad of a pitch. 94 miles an hour down and away. Bethancourt did a nice job of taking what you got and getting the ball to right field. Yeah, it was once that ball low and away. That's what it was. It was off the plate.
And you mentioned 94, and his velocity has improved as the season's gone on. He was in the high 90s at times in Lehigh Valley. Here's B.J. Upton, who homered his first time up, walked his last time. First pitch is down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Jason Shreve, the lefty, is in the bullpen for the Braves. Santana's spot is up next. Swing and a miss, 1-1. As we roll into 2015, the Phillies are still not sure how they plan to use Gonzalez. Ruben Amaro said, listen, we're going to leave it open for discussion as to whether he is going to be a relief pitcher or if they're going to work him back into the rotation. He said that'll be for discussion in the offseason. Runner goes from first, pitches a breaking ball that misses, 2-1. Bethancourt has his first major league stolen base.
Fastball almost looks like it's a natural cut. Kind of gets on the side of it and pulls a little bit.
Just a bit high, and it's ball 4. So a single and a walk. And Santana will bat here in the 5th inning. Probably didn't walk Upton intentionally because they probably weren't sure if the Braves would go to a pinch hitter in this spot. But they were being careful, it looked anyway, with B.J. Upton. So now Urban Santana will be the hitter. He sacrificed his last time up, walked his first time up with the bases loaded. First pitch is on the outside corner. You're right, there is sort of a natural cut to it. Yeah. 0-1. Oh, 2, 94 again on that pitch. Well, he's got some good stuff. He is not the same pitcher that we saw in spring training at all. Now, granted, we didn't see much of him.
Well, what we saw in spring training is that he threw every pitch. today we're seeing, I'm going to go with the natural cut fastball and an overhand curveball, the 12-6 curveball.
54 strikeouts in 46 and a third innings in the minors. Swing and a miss. He got Santana. 95 on that fastball. And that'll do it for the Braves here in the 5th. They do get a run to retake the lead. We'll go to the 6th inning. Phillies down 5-4. Just the 11th group in Major League Baseball history to throw a combined no-hitter, and the first for the Phils. Hamels, Diekman, Giles, and Papelbon took turns taking the ball and retiring batters. It took 3 hours and 10 minutes to throw 147 total pitches, record 27 outs, and the Phillies' 12th no-hitter in franchise history. It's one thing to throw the 286 no-hitter in baseball. It's another to do it with total teamwork. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Phillies fans got a chance to enjoy that no-hitter, and then the shutout yesterday, the first time the Phillies have had back-to-back shutouts since 2012. Well, today a little different story. It's sort of back and forth between these two teams as we move to the 6th inning. It's 5-4. Atlanta's on top. Dominic Brown will lead it off. It'll be Brown, Ashe, and Freddie Galvis for the Phils. Well, not too bad for Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, Matt.
No, pretty good. I like the fact that he has a nice curveball, the natural cut fastball. He can elevate a fastball when he wants to at 95, we've seen. I still believe that he'll be able to throw a couple more miles faster.
One ball and one strike to Brown. And then Brown pulls it through the hole on the right side. So he's aboard to lead off the 6th. And that'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate. Ashe is singled. He's also flied out to center. Out to the track in center field. Inside, 1-0.
Be interesting to see how long they let Santana go. He's only thrown 76 pitches, but he hasn't been the Santana early in the season.
No, it's he's not the sharp one that we talked about. His numbers since the 1st of July, 7-2 with a 2.83 ERA. He's not as sharp as he was the last few starts in August. It's now 2-0 to Ashe with a runner at first. And Cody hits one out towards shallow left center field. And Doman and Upton converge, and Upton is able to make the catch. One out. And Freddie Galvis will be the batter. David Hale is throwing in the bullpen for the Braves. Galvis is 0 for 2. He's flied out twice. Front, and it's 0-2. He was way out in front of that one. No balls and 2 strikes with Nieves waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Galvis is struck out, so 2 outs here in the 6th inning. 4 strikeouts overall for Santana.
This is that hard slider that we talked about before the game. How he knows how to bury it and get the left-hander swinging over top of it, and you know, I think it all set up with the pitch that Galvis fouled off prior to that with the changeup, thinking he had to speed his bat up.
Well, now Nieves, who singled his last time up and scored, he's 1 for 2. He waves at a slider. It's 0-1.
I like the fact that Nieves just backed out and took a big breath, realizes he's jumping a little bit towards the ball. Either that or it's just really hot.
And he needed a breather. Ground ball to shortstop, and Simmons will flip it to second. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Phils. We have played 5.5. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Atlanta. The Braves hanging on to a 1-run lead over the Phillies. to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Irvin Santana getting some handshakes in the dugout. They were able to push him through one extra inning. They gave him an at-bat. And he went down on strikes with the bases loaded. Looks like he may be done, just like the Phillies. The Braves have a few extra pitchers in their bullpen. Braves have a few extra hitters on their bench with the rosters expanding. So Jason Hayward will lead it off. This is a good test for Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez to face the top of the Braves order. Throws a changeup, and it's 0-1. Hayward is 0 for 2. He's got an RBI and a ground out. Walked in the second. Outside, 1-1. He went, according to Bob Davidson, and it's 1-2. All right, so we've seen changeup and 2 breaking pitches. 2 different kind of breaking pitches, right?
Yeah, the 12-6 curveball, the little slider, the natural cutter, changeup.
Fly ball down the left field line. Dominic Brown comes sprinting in, foul territory, makes the catch. 1 out here in the 6th inning. And it's time now for the Major League Notebook. Here's Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, Tom, thank you. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercer University. And for the 7th time in Major League history, there is one proud papa in a Major League dugout. It's Bruce Bochy. He's the manager, of course, of the Padres, and he's celebrating with his son, Brett, who was called up to the big leagues to the San Diego Padres. He's going to be part of their bullpen. The 27-year-old pitcher will make his debut sometime this week. And as I said, just the 7th time in Major League history that a father and son, a father has managed his son in the big leagues. So good stuff for that. And on Sunday, big doings at Yankee Stadium as they will honor Derek Jeter in a pregame ceremony. And also for the rest of the season, the New York Yankees will wear a patch to honor Derek Jeter. It's a big number 2. It says the New York Yankees captain on it. Also has Derek's name on that for the remainder of the season. Starting on Sunday, both Derek and the rest of his teammates will wear that on their jerseys in honor of his final season playing in the major leagues, guys. In case you didn't know, he had a pretty good career with the New York Yankees.
An amazing career. We're not going to see anything like that in a long time, I don't think. No balls and 2 strikes. That last pitch was at 96 miles an hour to Simmons with 1 out here in the 6th. Tickets for that celebration at Yankee Stadium are through the roof, as you would expect. Simmons 0 for 3. By the way, Murph mentioned Brett Bochy getting a chance to go up to play for the Giants. He was 4-4 down in the minor leagues this year. 35 games, 2 starts, 3.83 ERA. Check swing, foul ball. It remains 1-2.
Did I say Padres? I did, didn't I?
Well, he did manage the Padres
yes,
at one point.
And that's what was stuck in my head.
Out of the University of Kansas, a 20th round selection in 2010.
Brett was once the bat boy for the Padres.
So you got your California teams, just this, your Sands.
They're all right
together.
there together.
Yeah. Back toward the mounds. And there are 2 outs. Pretty good pitch inside to Simmons. And now Freddie Freeman will be the batter.
This is just a really late movement. 2-seamer coming inside and doesn't have the distance to pass the pitcher's mound right there.
All right, so 20 pitches now for Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez, and Freddie Freeman is 1 for 3. Throws him a changeup, and it's 0-1. early on when Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez was rehabbing to get himself back healthy. A lot of the coaching staff, Ryan Sandberg included, they were watching his outings on the video live, streaming from, let's say, Clearwater, which is where he began. And you could tell that each time he would go from one level to another, they were talking more and more about him because he was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think everybody anticipated he'd be up here in September as long as he stayed healthy. A little wild with his fastball here. It's 3-1. But Ryan Sandberg said yesterday that he would put him in to the mix depending on the matchups. He said he wouldn't be afraid of putting him in, so he puts him in here. What was a tie game, now a 1-run deficit. And a little high with a changeup, and ball 4. So it's second walk issued by Gonzalez, and that'll bring Doma to the plate.
Well, with Gonzalez being healthy and finishing the season on a good note, it's a good problem to have going into spring training next year. Where you're going to decide to put him? Starting rotation, bullpen. More pitchers you can have who are healthy and throw hard. You can throw stuff like that. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I think some of it will depend on if he does wind up playing winter ball, if he does anything there, and if he can maintain or sustain the velocity through an outing. They expect that he could, as long as he stays healthy. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I think the big question is too is that he's thrown 27 pitches. Can he bounce back and throw tomorrow 10 to 15 pitches? That's the key.
Well, that's a good pitch right there. It's 1-2. He had Doma way out front. It seemed like he was able to do that at Lehigh Valley.
Just a low changeup. Expecting that 94, 95 mile-an-hour fastball, and whoop, yep, changeup. That's the one you hyperextend your elbow on.
As a batter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a batter. We call ourselves hitters.
As a hitter.
As a hitter.
Outside, 2-2.
Come on, Tom.
I know. A boat's a ship, all that stuff. I got you. 2-2 to Doman. Runner goes in the air to right field. That'll hook foul. And it remains 2-2.
Just got to make sure that Gonzalez doesn't fall in love with that changeup and get away from a very good fastball that he has.
He's also got to keep an eye on Freeman over there at first base. Freeman leads off first. He doesn't go. And the pitch is pulled into right field, a base hit. And Freeman will stop at second. So the Braves have runners on first and second with 2 men down. And Tommy La Stella will be the batter. Will Nieves, Freddie Galvis out to the mound. Phillies have Nieves and Ruiz, of course, bilingual catchers. And they can converse in both English and Spanish. And Matt, you were talking about that before, how good that is in this day and age to have that.
I'm not sure how good Gonzalez's English is, but an advantage to have 2 Latin catchers who speak very good English, and of course very good Spanish.
Well, Estella is 0 for 1. He sacrificed his first time up, walked in the 3rd, grounded out his last time. It's a 1-run game. Fastball on the inside corner, 0-1. Gonzalez has allowed 2 hits and 2 walks. He has struck out 1. With 2 outs here in the 6th, he's allowed 2 base runners.
It's kind of an interesting number. 75.
Number 75. At least he knows nobody else will take it. He'll always have it. Unless Howie Long decided to come and play for the Phils. Upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Now this is a good time to throw a changeup. After throwing 2 fastballs up in the zone, get out in front, throw that changeup down and in. Swing and miss. Or you can just paint a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think your thought was right on because he hasn't had good command of the fastball in this inning. But he does paint with 94, and it's 2-2. DeFreitas is warming in the pen. Chopper first base side and right past Terry Pendleton. And used to be a Gold Glove third base. Didn't even flinch on that ground ball to first. And a line drive base hit it to right field. Sizemore gets to it quickly. Freeman's being waved home. The throw to the plate will be cut off on 1 hop. 6-4 Braves on top. An RBI single for the Stella. May be it for Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez with DeFreitas warming up in the bullpen. See how the Phillies play this. Infielders are out on the mound buying some time. Pitcher spot is due to lead off the 7th. This may be, if he decides to make a change, a double switch. Although he does have a lot of pitchers in the pen, he may not need to do that. And here comes Ryan Sandberg, and he's going to come out to the mound. So they are going to make a double switch. Andres Blanco is going to come into the ball game. And the Phillies will go to the bullpen. So Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez's major league debut is done for the moment. He's responsible for the base runners, though, when we come back. Over for Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 men down. Phillies fans, Greg Luzinski will be at Citizens Bank Park on September 10th for Cholesterol Awareness Night, sponsored by AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca will offer free cholesterol screenings at the game for adults 18 and older from 5:05 until 8 p.m. Join us at Cholesterol Awareness Night and get to know your numbers. Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez topped off at 96 miles an hour in his major league debut. He's credited with 1 inning of relief and a few extra batters. So far, 1 run charged to his line. He's responsible for the 2 hitters, or 2 base runners. He allowed 3 hits and he walked 2, struck out 1. Chris Johnson will be the batter. Justin's numbers, 2-1, a 2.82 ERA.
Gonzalez's first major league strikeout, Irvin Santana.
First pitch is outside. It's 1-0. It seemed like as his inning progressed, his velocity was still okay, Matt, but his command of that fastball, the all-important fastball, except for the 1 pitch to LaStella, really wasn't there.
Right, and even the last pitch to LaStella hit the right field for the base hit for the RBI. He was inconsistent. Now I like what I saw, especially with that little slider we saw. He only threw it 1 pitch, but he has a nice curveball. He has good composure on the mound, good tempo. And he throws hard. Just now it's a matter of locating.
2 balls and no strikes to Johnson. Swing and a miss and a slider, 2-1. Phillies 7th inning. It'll be Blanco, Revere, and Sizemore. Blanco's batting 9th now for the Phils, playing shortstop for Freddie Galvis. Now the 2-1 pitch. This 3-2 pitch. We just received word that Mario Hollins left the game with left elbow soreness. So we'll probably get more after the game or before the game on Friday when the Phillies are in Washington. After the off day tomorrow. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners go. Pitch is outside. Ball 4. And that will load up the bases for Christian Bethancourt, who's had a 3-for-3 afternoon with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored.
I don't think Johnson looked too happy walking in that situation.
Think he wanted something else out of that?
I think so.
Well, he's walked twice in today's game. Swinging a foul tip. No balls and 1 strike. Good
slider right there. After elevating that fastball first pitch, come back with the off-speed pitch.
Davis wants it upstairs. Now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, right between the 5-hole. Here comes Domit, and he's going to score. The ball goes right on by DeFreitas. (7-4) Braves on top. They have scored at a wild pitch, so 2 runs have scored in the inning.
Curveball right between the legs, and right here it almost kind of looked like that Bob Davidson got in the way, and not that it would have mattered with the throw, but
no, it did. He was fortunate the ball didn't hit Bob Davidson right in the back of the head. Popped him up. Blanco shading his eyes from the sun. He didn't see it right away. Ooh, he finally makes the catch. He was, as he stood his ground, he was probably about 5 or 6 feet from it. And as it was coming down, he had a sprint to his right to try to get to the spot. 2 runs do score for the Braves. They take a 7-4 lead. We'll go to the 7th inning here at Turner Fields. Figure we'd spice it up a little bit. It's the local Honda dealers game summary, series summary, some of the sights and sounds from the 3 games here in Atlanta. The Phillies have taken the first 2, but they trail game 3 7-4. We move to the top of the 7th. David Buchanan allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings of work. Justin DeFreitas, he was the 4th pitcher used today for the Phils, and allowed a couple of inherited runners to cross the plate, including 1 in a wild pitch. So he'll sit in the dugout while the Phillies will send Andres Blanco to the plate. Blanco is now the number 9 batter against Chasen Shreve. See Shreve's numbers in the minor leagues. He's pitched in 1 game in this series. We saw him earlier in the year too. Emilio Bonifacio has come in to play left field for Atlanta. There he is. So they got 6 innings out of Domit. So Blanco will lead it off. 6 innings out of Domit, 6 innings out of Irvin Santana, who allowed 7 hits and 4 runs. Then Blanco swings at the first pitch. Blanco, a .282 hitter with a home run and 3 runs batted in. When called upon as a starter or off the bench, he's done a nice job.
Is that Bonifacio? Is that a double switch?
Yeah. Bonifacio, yes, will bat 9th. So he'll be up 2nd in the bottom of the 7th inning. If you ever managed, would you rather manage in the National League or the American League? All these double switches and stuff like that.
National League. All you do in the American League is learn how to spell people. You don't even do that. You don't even write the lineup card. Your bench coach does. You meet with the media. You do your talk show.
If you have a talk show.
If you're fortunate to have one.
Right.
And then you're done.
American League managers all over the league are sitting there watching this game right now and saying, I'm going to get Matt Stairs' number or his email and I'm going to send him a note. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Another foul ball.
I like the National. I mean, I used to like the National League because it used to be quicker games, but I think now, as a manager.
Not as a manager, it's about wins and losses. It's not about speed of game.
Well, no, but I'm sitting right here talking about
Oh, okay.
And I think, and I love the offense, trust me, I do. But I think as a National League manager, you're into the game more often. You start thinking ahead in the game. You start thinking a couple hitters in advance, where you might do a double shift, where you might not do a double shift. And really, an American League manager, what do? They write the lineup card and they control their bullpen.
And that's it.
No, they shouldn't say that's it. Gonna get me in trouble here.
All right, so would you have your own radio show if you were a manager? Would you do that?
For sure. I think that'd be awesome. Have your own radio show, your own TV show.
Well, you'd go TV too, huh?
Oh, why not? Go
well, Charlie did it.
Win the World Series, you can do what you want. Deck of cards with your pitcher on it. I mean, everything.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Outside 2-2.
I mean, if you look at it in the American League, you don't bunt a lot in the American League games. At least you never used to, because you used to rely on that big one swing for a 2 or 3 run home run.
Right.
It is starting to become the point where it's a faster game with stolen bases.
A foul ball by Blanco.
You do control your pitching staff. But here's my question is, and Tom, say you're my pitching coach.
I thought I was going to be the third base coach.
Well, I traded you from third base coach to pitching coach right now. Okay, if you were my pitching coach, I would have you control the whole pitching staff.
And you wouldn't have any input?
Well, I mean, I never pitched. And I'm saying you did at the time, but.
Yeah, that one's rolled inside the third base bag down the left field line, and Blanco on his way to second. And he'll get there with a leadoff double. And that'll bring Ben Revere up after the leadoff double by Andres Blanco. Oh, it is something to think about when it comes
to be my pitching coach.
No, I don't think I think there's a really good chance down the road that you could be a big league manager. There is no chance that I would be your big league pitching coach at all.
Look, all the American League managers, all the National League managers do a very good job. You're as good as a manager as your players, how they play.
All right,
Make sense?
It does. That it makes sense that you're trying to make up for what you said at the beginning of the conversation, so now you won't get any emails or text messages or anything.
That doesn't bother me. Maybe it's a little good to reply back, and they might not like what they hear. But
you would prefer to, if you had a chance to manage we see these double switches and all this stuff. There's a lot going on. You would prefer to do the National League game if given a choice.
Correct. And I probably should have just said National League when I was asked the question, because I wouldn't have buried myself with other American League managers.
It was still fun to do it. 1-1 to Revere. Revere is 3 for 3. He's doubled and he's singled twice. He has scored a couple of runs. Phillies down by 3. They've left 4 so far. Braves have left 9. And Revere hits it back to the box. 1-3 on the putout. And Revere is retired for the first time. That'll bring Grady Sizemore to the plate. Blanco was not able to advance on that ground ball back to the mound. Still plenty of time for the Phillies, so you want to be able to get this run over and in. the right side. And LaStella is up with it. He throws out Sizemore. So 2 outs, runner over third, and Chase Utley will be the batter. Utley has 2 sac flies today. Utley struck out back in the 3rd inning. Jason Shreve's brother Colby was a draft pick of the Phillies, selected in the 6th round in 2008. Jason Shreve went to the College of Southern Nevada. Many people may not have heard that of that school, but his catcher at that school was Bryce Harper. Harper was a catcher when he was drafted by the Washington Nationals.
See, Bryce Harper hit a rare home run off a left-hander that Kershaw gave up last night.
Pitch is down. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Utley. There's David Howe. Kershaw also went first to third on Bryce Harper on a single to center field. Two and one to Chase. And that'll even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get this run home and make it a 2-run game and then build from there.
I'd like to see about 4 runs in the next couple innings, because you know who's waiting in the bullpen for the 9th.
Kimbrel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He shortens the game. There's no doubt about that. This, of course, is a safe situation. I think he probably would work anyway because he hasn't pitched in a little bit. 2-2 pitch coming to Utley. And Utley is struck out. A foul tip. Utley is struck out for the 2nd time today. The Phillies leave one over at third. Time to stretch here at Turner Field. The Phils trail the Braves 7-4 in the finale of this 3-game series. continues to be in the mix for the National League batting title. The Phillies, though, trail at 7-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Turner Field. We mentioned earlier in the game we would have our AT&T fan photo of the game. Well, here it is. It comes from W. Broomhead 27. The guys. Yep, just the guys. Tweet your photo to hashtag Philly fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Guys, we appreciate you sending that in. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Justin DeFreitas will continue on. B.J. Upton, Emilio Bonifacio. And the top of the order for the Braves. It's 0-1. Upton a 2-run home run in the 2nd. He's walked a couple times. That 2-run home run made it 3-1. The Phillies came back, tied it in the 3rd. There's a line drive caught by Blanco. Ball smoked by B.J. Upton. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. 1-2-3 inning so far for the Phils. That was in the 1st. Bonifacio takes low, 1-0. Bonifacio hitting .276 with 2 homers and 20 runs batted in. His numbers, and he was acquired from the Cubs by the Braves with James Russell. His numbers have basically been the same between the Braves and the Cubs. He's been a good addition. He's not playing every day here in Atlanta, where he was playing every day pretty much in Chicago.
Just update just in. Josh Harrison of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
0 for 2, down to 311.
Oh boy.
Another update. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge has raised over $100 million.
Oh my. Bonifacio is struck out, 2 outs. Now, will that be part of your updates as you do the Revere, Harrison, Morneau updates? Are you going to update the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge numbers too?
I could. I can. We got 3 more games. It's actually about 107 million right now. So, very impressive.
It's incredible that it keeps on going too. Well, it's nice that everybody keeps on contributing. Hayward's 0 for 3 with an RBI. He walked in the 2nd inning. And he hits that one out towards center field. Revere on the run. He'll get there. And a 1-2-3 7 for Justin DeFreitas. Nice job coming back, setting the Braves down in order. Phillies are down to 6 outs offensively. Let's see if they can get something going when we come back. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer, shophonda.com. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Top of the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Braves is David Carpenter, the right-hander. And he will face Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, Cody Ashe for the Phils. Phillies trail it by 3. Well, these games are of paramount importance for the Braves. They came into today's ball game a game and a half behind the Brewers for the second wild card spot. San Francisco has the first wild card spot with 76 wins, but the Giants are also within 2 games of the Dodgers at this point. Dodgers have won 7 of 10. Or 6 of 10, but the Giants have won 7 of 10, so they've kept pace with Los Angeles out in the West. Ryan Howard will lead it off, and he takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Howard is 0 for 3. He's grounded out. He is struck out. He's fly to right. Down the left field line, that'll slice foul and out of play. Man, that ball really carried, didn't it? So 1 ball and 1 strike to Howard. It's time now for our timeless moment with Greg Murphy. Murph?
Yes, we'll go back to the year 2006 when Ryan Howard on this date in 2006 hit 3 home runs against these Atlanta Braves, including number 50 in his career. The Phils won that game 8-7. Probably remember that well, Tom.
Our timeless moment. And Howard takes a strike. It's 1-2. Of course, Tim Hudson was the pitcher that day. Howard does have 46 home runs against the Atlanta Braves. He's hit some big ones against Atlanta too. Check swing. 2-2. Struck out, overpowered by a fastball. 1 out here in the 8th. That's 6 strikeouts for Braves pitching. And here's Dominic Brown to bat. Dominic spent his senior year of high school here in the Atlanta area. Went to high school at Redan High School, where he played football and baseball. Spent the first 3 years down in Florida before transferring for his senior season. One ball, no strikes. And at the knees, 1-1. There's Cesar Jimenez up for the 2nd time today. And just a bit low. Bethancourt held it there. Bob Davidson, his strike zone has expanded a little bit in this inning, but not to the point where he called Dominic Brown out on strikes. As she waits on deck. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Carpenter, and there are 2 outs. Well, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Jason Hayward's been kind of busy going back to the wall in this series, Matt.
He has. This came all the way back in the first inning versus Grady Sizemore. Going back, finds the fence, times it right, gets the ball in quickly. I like the fact that he turns and sees where he is, doesn't panic, and realizes he has lots of time. And that is why it's that defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
Yeah, Grady Sizemore did eventually hit a home run. Thought there was a chance he would have that one there in the first. Phillies settled for 1 run in the first. Yeah, she's 1 for 3. And it's 2-0. Jimmy Rollins has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the Phils. The pitcher spot is up after Ashe. There's J-Roll. 3-1 pitch. On the outside corner, 3-2.
That's the strike you were talking about with Bob Davidson opening up.
It's kind of an unhittable pitch.
Well, yeah, unless you throw your bat at it.
Even the glove didn't help on that one. That ball was drilled down the left field line. Here comes the 3-2 to Ashe. Outside, ball 4. Cody draws a walk. That'll bring Rollins to the plate as a pinch hitter. Rollins' numbers as a pinch hitter for his career. It's 6 hits. He also has 2 home runs among those 6 hits. Overall hitting .247 with 17 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Takes a little high and it's 1-0.
Jimmy's had a nice little road trip, swinging the bat, hitting .348, getting some confidence. Of course, he's playing tremendous defense.
He's going to blaze right past what the projected numbers were for games played this year. Ryan Sandberg said in spring training that they were going to try to not limit, but give Rollins and Utley more time off. But Rollins has played in 134 games counting today, with the month of September basically left to be played. So he's been durable. Two balls and 1 strike. Pops it foul. It's 2-2.
It's not bad. 134 games out of 138.
Yeah, he's had a busy schedule.
Yeah.
That one's out toward right field. It's not deep. Hayward is there. And the Phillies are retired here in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. The walk to Ashe. And that's it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Atlanta. The Phils down by 3. winning box score. The Atlanta Braves, who really struggled offensively prior to this ball game. No runs in their previous 24 innings, 1 run in their last 36. Well, they got 3 runs in the second. BJ Upton, you see the 8-hole for the Braves, 1 for 2, 2-run home run. He's also walked a couple times. Christian Bethancourt, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cesar Jimenez in his 10th ball game for the Phillies. Jimenez 9 2/3 scoreless so far. And he will pitch for the first time since the 23rd of August, when he threw a scoreless third of an inning against the St. Louis Cardinals. So to say it's been a while is an understatement for Cesar Jimenez. Jimenez down in the minor leagues at a 1.45 earned run average. Originally was in the big leagues with the Seattle Mariners. Pitched in 70 games for the Mariners and the Phils during his big league career, but was with Seattle 2006, 2008, 2011. And then he falls behind 2-0 to Simmons, who is 0 for 4 in this ball game. It'll be Simmons, Freeman, and the pitcher's spot. That one's in there for a strike. They'll have somebody pinch hit because Kimbrel is, I'm sure, warming up in the bullpen for the Braves as we speak. There he is. And ball 4. So Simmons draws a walk. And now Freddie Freeman. Evan Gattis has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. There he is. And Jimenez misses that one. It's 1-0. Freddie Freeman has scored a couple runs today. He's 1 for 3. Walked his last time up, doubled earlier. That one's a fly ball out to left center field. Dominic Brown, I don't think, sees it. He doesn't see it. Now he's able to pick up on it. He makes the catch. And back to first goes Simmons. Or maybe he saw it from the get-go and just ran to the spot. I don't know, Matt. It looked as if he didn't see it until the last moment when it was starting to come down.
Yeah, the way he went after this, it looked like he thought that Ben Revere was going to catch it, but some of his replays, he just kind of jogs after it, thinking Ben's going to get there, then realizes that from a left-hander, it sliced back towards him. He turned on the afterburners and made a routine catch.
All right, so now Evan Gattis will pinch hit for the Braves. With Simmons at first, and he swings at the first pitch down the right field line. Long run for Sizemore. He dives and he makes the catch. What a play by Grady Sizemore for the second out. Boy, he had a long way to go to get to that ball.
Well, I guess right field is contagious. We see Marlon Byrd do this quite a bit, and Grady Sizemore makes a very nice running catch. And Tom, you're right. He went a long way to make a very nice diving catch.
And Jimenez likes that one. Well, he saw it the whole way. That's a great shot to watch him finish off that grab. Well, Phil Gosselin is the batter. Gosselin made the last out in the no-hitter the other day. Gosselin grew up a Phillies fan. Said, I grew up watching those guys. It's weird playing against them now and being part of the no-hitter. It stinks being on that side of it. In the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gosselin went to Malvern Prep and then the University of Virginia. Played second base for the Braves in game 1 of the series. It's a young man with an awful lot of talent. Floats inside, 2-1. Out toward right center field. Ben Revere, a long run out toward the track, reaches up, makes the catch. He made that catch going away. So all 3 outfielders getting involved. All 3 outfielders making good plays to help Cesar Jimenez. The best of the 3, though, is probably this one by Grady Sizemore. It was out number 2. We'll go to the 9th. One last chance for the Phils. Buchanan's outing. He'll talk about Miguel Alfredo Gonzalez. It's only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. Well, with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. We're off to D.C. after this game comes to a close. Phillies have taken 2 of the first 3. Trying to sweep out the Braves, but they're going to have to do it against one of the best closers in baseball. 41 saves for Craig Kimbrel. Kimbrel with 41 saves and 45 opportunities. Kimbrel wearing these special spikes here this afternoon. Trying to promote additional research for kids' cancer research. Pretty distinct as he came running in from the bullpen. Cesar Hernandez is going to pinch hit for the Phils. The first pitch is a strike.
And the scouting report on Kimbrel is easy. Gas at 99 and a big curveball at 87.
There's that gas at 97.
Now it's an easy scouting report. It's not easy to hit.
Kimbrel and his wife Ashley are big supporters of the Kids Cancer Golf Classic and a number of other events supporting the Curing Kids Cancer organization. They host a cowboy boots and cocktails event each and every year, so that is why he is wearing those spikes today. Up high, it's 2-2. Over $4 million of the money raised goes into pediatric cancer research. Well, good for him. And good for his wife for being involved in it. 2-2 the count to Hernandez, and he whacks that foul. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Pirates and Cardinals tied at zip at the top of the 6th inning. St. Louis, their record at home. Two balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 3-2.
Tom, I'll give you an update in a second.
Outside, ball 4. So Hernandez is aboard as he leads off the 9th inning. And that'll bring Andres Blanco up. Blanco doubled his last time up. Just to finish off this story about Kimbrel, just because the spikes are distinct. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and the official color is gold. So that is why Kimbrel has chosen the gold spikes. We've seen that other players. Kevin Franzen used to wear the special spikes on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Hernandez takes his lead off first. Freddie Freeman holds him on. Freeman now is behind him. Swing and a miss, 0-2. It's not easy to come from behind against Craig Kimbrel. The fact that he's been able to reach 40 saves with each passing year. Bob Davidson appeals. He flinched a little bit on that one. He thought about calling out Andres Blanco. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kimbrel's high watermark in saves was 50 a year ago. That one floated out towards center field. B.J. Upton is there, and there's 1 out here in the 9th inning. And back to the top of the order for Ben Revere. Revere is 3 for 4 in this ball game. He has scored a couple of runs. He doubled his first time up and singled in his next 2 at bats. Today is his 50th multi-hit game. He also now has 140 singles this season. It's the most since Doug Glanville had 149 singles in 1999 for the Phils. Breaking ball, 0-1. Two. Out towards shortstop. This might be 2. There's 1 and 2. Revere grounds into the game-ending 6-4-3 double play, and the Braves have salvaged the final game of the series against the Phils. They win it 7-4. The Phillies, though, win 2 of 3 here in Atlanta. They just didn't have enough to overcome Atlanta here this afternoon as they lose it by 3. Christian Bethancourt is our Chevrolet player of the game, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. He did have play a big role offensively in this ball game. Irvin Santana hung around for 6 innings to get his 14th win. Freddie Gonzalez's team had gone 25.